All right, man. Thanks for being here this evening. Why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Hello, my name is Javier. I was born and raised, well, actually, I was born in Texas in a small town called Health Center. Shortly after I was born, my dad joined the military, and we traveled a lot. He was stationed in Belgium and Germany, a bunch of different bases in Texas. Moving around a lot with my dad being in the military, it was pretty hard to make friends. So I kind of just secluded myself and just drew a lot, just spending time in my room, just drawing whatever I could. After Belgium and Germany, we moved back to the States, and we were stationed in Fort Bliss, Texas. Growing up on a military base, it was pretty different from growing out in the streets. We were able to roam around, not really worry about anything, especially in the early 90s. So I would just walk around town and just I ended up at the local gas station, and I was reading all the magazines, and the lowrider magazine caught my attention because of the cars, obviously, but then all these dudes had all these tattoos. And back in the day, the tattoo magazine, they used to be in plastic sleeves. Well, somebody took it out of the sleeve, and it caught my attention, so I started looking through the magazine. And all these tattoos were amazing, to 12, 13, 11-year-old. It just caught my attention, and I would keep going back and forth to go look at the magazines. And one day I just decided to take the magazine and just put it in my pants and walk out. What really inspired me was one of my uncles. He came to stay with us for a little bit because he was always traveling. And he drew all the time. He got around. People would pay him for his drawings, and I didn't understand how good he was being that young. And I remember one specific day, he was drawing on the front yard, and I went outside to see what he was doing, and I had my little skateboard, and I sat next to him, and asked him, basically challenge him, let's see who can draw better. And he's like, all right, cool, what do you want to draw? And on my skateboard, it had this little alley cat. So I'm like, oh, let's draw this over again. He's like, all right. So he's there drawing, and I'm trying my hardest, I'm going to beat him, and not knowing how good he was. And when we were finished, he looked at it. He's like, oh my God, that's so great. You beat me. And he showed me his stuff. And I don't know, I guess I was just amazed that he said my stuff was great. I was like, yeah, I'm better than you are. Just, that really inspired me to keep drawing and keep drawing. And after that, everything kind of went downhill. In high school, after my parents' divorce, I kind of was angry. I was doing a lot of drugs and just partying a lot. My goal was to finish high school and eventually go to college. Once I graduated, I moved to Florida, and I didn't really draw much after that point. I was taking all these jobs. I was just dead-end job after dead-end job after dead-end job. I'm like, you know what? Let me get back to school. I got my associates in art. And when I graduated, I still didn't really do anything with it. I mean, I felt like I was an adult, so I needed to get an adult job. But I was still doing dead-end jobs, and I got the opportunity to do an apprenticeship. Before I got my apprenticeship, I was going from shop to shop to shop. Took me forever, almost 3 years before finally one person said, yeah. Like, hey, bring in your portfolio, drawings, whatever you have, so, and then just come back tomorrow. I didn't know anything about portfolios. Like, I had never heard of that. Like, so I go home and scrounge up every drawing, every sketch I ever did, and put them in a folder. And the next day I went up there and showed it to them. They just kind of looked at it. They're like, "What is this mess? Like, what are you doing?" And so I handed it to them. They're just like flipping through it, like, "Okay, okay, okay." And the owner was like, "Let me tell you, presentation is key. You got to make this look good, because otherwise it's just going to look half-assed." And so ever since then, that stuck in my head. Everything I do, presentation is key. So that helped a lot further along the line too. I was in the apprenticeship for 2.5 years. I became what they call the junior artist, where you're still learning from your mentor and still doing like really small tattoos. I thought I was ready until I touched that skin for the first time. I knew I wasn't. It was something else. Working there a few years, one of the guys there decided to open up his own shop. And during that time, a lot of shops were opening and closing. And he asked me to go with them, and I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't want to go to another shop and have it closed down. So I gave it time, and probably about 2 years, I hit him up. I'm like, yo, you need anybody there? He's like, hell yeah. So I went there, and it was fun. Like, it was definitely a fun place to work at. A lot of good artists there, met a lot of new people, and worked with a lot of good people. At the end of 9 years, COVID hit. It was hard, like trying to make money. Everybody was scared to go out, and then they put that stay-at-home order. But being tattoo artists, we just taped up the windows and called up our regulars and be like, yo, want to come get tattooed? We were doing whatever we could to like eat and just survive. So all the partying and then the COVID took its toll. The older you get, the more you're like, you don't find yourself secure, so you have to find a reason to move forward. And the COVID gave me a kick in the ass to like get your shit together. So we taped up the windows, contacted everybody we knew. I was putting money to the side and just buying what I could afford, and just every time I got cash, I'd go buy something. After a few months, everything was set up at my studio. Quit my job there and came to West Tampa and opened up 13 Roses. That was nerve-wracking. That was the hardest thing I ever did, like leaving a secure job to open up your own business during a worldwide pandemic and not knowing if you're going to make any money or if anybody's going to come out. But that first year, I had so much support from my friends and family, and I realized I should have done this a long time ago. I like to focus on black and gray realism. Just I like drawing what I see. Just try to get as close as possible to what the actual photo looked like. When I started, I actually liked a lot of the new school, like bright colors, odd shaped features, and big eyes. But I've always been into the details. Like even when I was drawing when I was younger, like focusing on the details, trying to get as close, perfect as I could. Perfect's not attainable, but just I like the black and gray realism a lot. Without tattooing, I don't know what I'd be doing. I mean, this is my whole life. I've given everything to it. I've given up time with family, with friends, with girlfriends. I've lost friends, girlfriends. I mean, this is all I have. This is all I know. I've been doing it for 20 plus years, and this is it. I don't know what else to do.
So, for anybody interested in jumping into tattooing, what piece of advice would you give them?
Make sure this is what you want. I mean, tattooing isn't just a hobby. You have to like live it. It's a whole different lifestyle than just what you see on TV. I mean, you have to dedicate your time to drawing, painting. It's frustrating. You can get mad at yourself because it didn't come out the way you wanted. You're going to be discouraged. But if you really want this, you have to stick with it because there's no easy way to get good. I mean, you have to go through hell before you can come out like decent artist. Stay motivated. I mean, when you don't feel like drawing, draw. Even if it's for 30 minutes, just draw every single day. And I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, if you don't draw, you can't improve. You have to just draw it. So my advice would be like, keep drawing, don't give up. Like, there was a lot of times where I didn't draw for months and years at a time, but if I'd have stuck with it, I might have been a little better. Nature, just nature in general, like paddleboarding, cycling, running. That helps me decompress, helps me get away from the almost like the pressure of tattooing, because everybody wants perfection. They want this exact thing. They want this exact same thing. They give you 50 ideas to make it to a tattoo the size of your palm. So sometimes that's stressful, and being outside, it helps a lot. And I started running a lot more, so I've done a lot of races. I've done half marathons, 5Ks, 10Ks, 15Ks. I did a race over the Skyway, which is pretty cool. I did that a couple times. And I've done stair climbs, like 42 flights up, just running up the stairs. That was something else. To get over my fear of water, I actually got scuba certified with Mike here. That shit was scary, but still fun. Got certified. We were drift diving at Rainbow River. That was pretty cool.
In the middle of a thunderstorm.
Yeah, that was a short trip.
Yeah.
But I also picked up the Muay Thai. I go to Kaizen out here in Tampa. I've learned a lot there. Like, helped me slow down on my drinking, because you can't go over there hungover, because you're gonna regret it. Trust me, I've done it a couple times. So Kaizen's helped a lot. Just dedication, and they push you. Like, you're ready to give up. You're about to throw up. They're like, nah, get back up there. Start sparring and start kicking the bag, and it's fun.
All right, man. Thanks for being here tonight, doing this with us. I really appreciate you taking the time out, telling us your story, taking us into your journey into the world of tattooing. Is there anything you want to leave us with? Any anecdotes, any shout outs, anything you're excited for in the future?
I don't know what to say. It's just kind of weird being interviewed. But shout outs, I mean, Kaizen, if you want to do MMA or any kind of combat sport, check them out. My buddies at Dysfunctional Grace Art in Ybor, if you like oddities, they got a bunch of crazy shit. You can check me out. I mean, at Instagram at 13 Roses Art Collective, or my personal page at fail_Javi. Check out my work and make an appointment.